Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Hivemind Recap Podcast. We are back with another one of our Hivemind After Hours episodes, and today we are talking to Archetypes Collide. We have Kyle, Brandon, and Tyler here with us. Justin and Jacob of the Hivemind are here. Derek, unfortunately, had to drop out at the last minute due to circumstances, but we got 6 of us here in this call, so I'm sure some shenanigans are going to be getting up to anyway. How are you guys all doing tonight?
Good.
Doing good. Thanks for having us on.
Thank you guys for joining us on this. These are always a lot of fun for us, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we did a little bit of research prior to this, and I think you guys were the first band that interact with any of our content.
One of the first to ever interact with any of our stuff, so.
Yeah,
There we go.
Jake and I also have been listening to you guys since, I think, White Noise, for me, dropped.
Some point in 2019, yeah.
Some point, yeah.
So early 2019.
Early, just about, yeah.
Yeah, you guys are some OGs. We've been kind of chunking along for a little bit, so it's kind of cool to see that we're finally linking up and making this happen. So
yeah, for sure. So before we get into any of the discussion, obligatory social media show. If you want to follow us, you can follow at Hivemind Radio _ on Instagram and Twitter, Hivemind Radio on YouTube, Hivemind Radio Recap on Spotify. Do you guys have any socials you want to show real quick if anyone listening wants to follow you guys?
Go ahead.
Well,
Kyle.
if you could spell our name, it's Archetypes Collide. Is our Instagram, no spaces, nothing like that. Facebook, Archetypes Collide. Instagram, Twitter might be atypes _ collide, but Don't quote me on that. Either way, Archetypes Collide, you hit that Google search, we'll pop up.
There's no underscore on that, so it's just atypes collide.
Atypes. There we go.
Justin with the research. You like to see it?
No, he just has it memorized.
Look,
I respect that.
Twitter has a healthy button that says search. I do the search thing.
Cool. It's one of his favorites. Just our Twitter page.
So I don't look like an idiot.
Tweet notification.
Opens a new tab and defaults to our Twitter.
Oh, I don't want to talk about how many fucking tabs I have open on a daily basis.
Oh, tabs kill me. My wife has 1,000 tabs on her phone at all times. It kills me every time I see it.
I have, I think, 20, and I interact with each one separately. It's a pain. I know. It's annoying.
But how many unread emails do you guys have?
I don't want to talk about it.
Thousands.
10,000s for me.
Oh no!
I cleared mine recently. Mine's at 609, so I think we're doing okay. Better.
Whenever I got an email notification, I just go mark as read and then just never go read it. So I only have one unread email, but it's probably in the thousands of emails that are actually never been read.
Yeah.
A lot of my unread stuff is discounts or sales and whatnot.
Yeah.
So that way it still stays as a notification.
I'll literally probably for the past year or so, every time I get an email from someone that I don't want an email from, I'll open it and go and click the unsubscribe button in the email and unsubscribe. I'm might be borderline psycho. It's an OCD thing, I think. But I currently have one unread email right now that I'm about to go destroy once we're done with this. So, don't you ever email me?
They're done.
I'm really aggressive against emails.
I'm too powerful.
Yeah, I need help.
It's okay.
All right, Justin, do you want to start us off with our first little discussion point here? We
didn't order these in any way, so I'm going to start off with the most interesting one. Hobbies. What do you guys do outside of music?
Ooh.
I think that's easy for Brandon and I, but I want to hear Kyle's.
Yeah.
What do I do outside of music?
Yeah.
To be honest, it kind of consumes. I work part-time at a church as well, doing the music and stuff there. So that's where I'm pretty busy there with that. At home, I've got 2 girls that I love hanging out with. 2.5 years old, and the other one's about 5 months old. So they're a lot of fun. But I do have a passion for mowing my lawn. As dad as that sounds, I don't own any New Balances yet, but I think we're almost there. So yeah, if you ever just look for the green grass in the neighborhood, and if you're in Mesa, Arizona, you'll find me. It's
Hey,
What's the address, Kyle? Do you want to drop it?
no, let's not do that.
Might I
No.
suggest a New Balance email to get the sales on the New Balance shoes whenever you want to pick those up? Just to clutter that
Excuse
email
me?
feed a little bit more.
I swear, I'm already shaking right now thinking about it.
Just the worst nightmare. He's gonna wake up and just wake up to like hundreds of emails.
Cold
Just
sweat.
Sweat
It's like,
profusely.
no. Outside of that, I do like playing video games, but typically I like the just the basic, the ones that are more like single player by myself. I like playing. Like I'll literally replay Pokemon games all the time. That's kind of my go-to. Or
hell yeah.
Assassin's Creed was a great one. Ghost of Tsushima.
Sushi.
That thing. Yeah.
I'm gonna mess up the word. Yeah, Tsushima. I think it was.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
That's a really cool one. But I think also because we discussed earlier, my internet's trash. So typically I don't do well online, which is just maybe why I don't tend to play online as much. So that's me.
That's fair.
Yep, definitely.
Hobbies. I mean, obviously drumming. I like to drum, but besides the band stuff, I don't know. I like video games. I actually just got a virtual, like a VR headset recently, and that's kind of like an eye-opening experience. It's like something that you really don't understand until you actually put it on your head and experience it for the first time. So I've been really digging that the past few days. 'Cause I just got it like 4 days ago. So that's been pretty cool.
I've been to multiple conventions with like tryout VR headsets before, and I've never done it, and I kind of regret it.
It's just you just gotta do it once, just to because I don't know, you can watch it on a screen and be like, oh, that's cool, but until you put it on and actually like, holy crap, this is like almost real.
Yeah.
It's just a really like feeling. So you should try it out definitely if you get the chance to.
So what have you been playing with that or anything yet?
Well, Brandon and I've been playing some mini golf. There's this thing called Rec Room where it's kind of like Roblox. I don't know if you guys ever played that before.
We all come from Minecraft, so close enough.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I played Minecraft since alpha, but Roblox is, I mean,
We're OGs.
I played a long time
what
ago.
a
Yeah.
flex.
Right, I guess. But it's kind of like Roblox where you can just jump into like a random like server of like that someone created, and you can literally play anything you want to. So it's pretty expansive. That's cool. Kyle trying to talk over me.
Reminds me of my old days of like Gary's Mod. I used to do a lot of
Oh.
Gary's Mod.
Oh yeah.
I still do that with friends every once in a while.
Is it still active?
Not
Gary's
as
Mod?
play with,
much.
like friends in my friend group. We just pick a server and play on that.
Nice.
Wait,
just-
what's
you can-
Gary's mod?
So
What?
you know, Half-Life 2, they made a source
How do you not
mod.
know what Gary's mod?
I
Hey
don't
Kyle,
know what
he's
it is.
talking.
It's a sandbox game.
No, the thing is, I've never played or used Gary's Mod, but I've watched so many meme compilations.
100%.
How could you not know what Gary's Mod is just from the animations that go on in like some meme
Yeah.
compilations?
Maybe
You
I
have to
do,
know.
and I just didn't know the name of it.
You
That's
100%
probably what it
do.
was. Yeah.
You 100% do.
Like Trouble
all
in
the-
Town, Prop Hunt.
Or the Shrek videos.
Oh.
Shrek is love, Shrek is life. I think.
Oh,
that's
no.
Gary's mod.
Oh, those are okay. Okay, I got you.
Yes.
There's a really good
Yeah,
one, old like 10 years ago from
Shrek is
Scene
love.
Eaters with like Morgan Freeman.
Dang.
I don't know if that went the rounds, but that's what got me into it. And,
Okay.
that just reminds me of like the Roblox and everything because there were just a bunch of game modes on
Like
Gary's Mod.
early YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Nice. Yeah, I'm about the same with Tyler. We game. Me, him, and our other guitar player that's not here, Jared. We play almost daily, online, and we my brother has a VR, so I borrow it from him sometimes and play with Tyler and Jared on VR. It's pretty sick. But yeah, video games a big deal. I grew up playing a lot of sports, so like I play basketball weekly. And then I'm a big movie stan, so all up in the Marvel and all that stuff. That's about it besides music though.
Hey, we all love music here.
Oh yeah.
It's tight.
Hey,
What
that's
are you
cool.
what are you guys currently listening to?
Oh, music wise?
Ooh.
What music wise was that? What else would I be listening to?
Podcast wise.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
true.
That's fair.
Y'all listening to any radio stations?
Okay,
I
Yeah.
I stay away from the radio personally.
Yep.
I mean, I'm just blanking. I don't know. I Prevail and Beartooth came out new songs today or yesterday.
I
Today.
Prevail was today. Yeah.
Jake and I were
Um,
talking about the I Prevail song.
It was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
It's catchy. Wasn't as heavy as Body Bag, but it was still a sick song in my opinion. Kyle, Brandon.
Yeah.
Because listening to it.
So, well, obviously, if you guys didn't know, we're kind of Beartooth fanboys, partially due to management. We have that relationship, but they put out a new song, which is, and the hook is so good, the chorus is so good. So that's sick. I've been really into. I like listening to a lot of like pop kind of stuff just to keep up with the time. I don't know, keep up with what's relevant, I guess. And Harry Styles put out an album called Harry's House, and it is so like 80s retro. I don't know. It's like so refreshing to me. I just love it so much. But it's very quirky and poppy, not the typical rock jam. But I was just jamming that today, the whole album, and it's pretty sweet.
Unfortunately, Derek's not here. He's the type of guy that listens to pop music out of us.
He listens to everything.
Yeah, he
honestly.
listens.
He's so diverse.
I'll throw Post Malone on mine too. I guess I've been listening to that a lot. The new album.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was another. That's like one of the things I've been listening to a lot is like Post Malone. Big fan of like Halsey and stuff like that, kind of the poppy stuff, Justin Bieber. But as far as like our scene goes,
Bring
been
Me
really
Stranger?
on. Yeah, Bring Me's really good. That new song, I like that one a lot.
You don't have
Wage
to
War,
tell
Bad
us.
Omens. Yeah. Trying to think if
Bad
there's
Omens
anything
are
else.
incredible.
Yeah, that's one I've been listening
they're
to a lot.
operating on a different wavelength right now compared to like almost everyone else. It feels like.
The new record is
It's great.
super good.
Yeah.
Love that record.
It's like they have so many moments in their songs where it's just like really unique and kind of like, it hits on like that whole like Billie Eilish like kind of whispery chill stuff,
Yeah.
and then it's got like the huge like obviously what they started as is kind of that 2013 Bring Me the Horizon kind of style.
Yeah.
Yep.
They do that obviously because they've always been great at it, and it's like it's a really refreshing mix. I think it's sick.
Definitely.
I want to quickly shout out the new Mothica album. I don't know if any of you guys listen to Mothica at all, but kind of like pop rock ish. I've been jamming the shit out of that the last 2 weeks since it dropped. So
How do you? Is it just Mothica?
yep.
Mothica. Okay.
Yeah.
I've not heard of them, but I'll
I haven't
definitely have
either.
to check it out.
I think
Let me
I
actually
think
pull
I
it
heard
up.
one of her songs. I think it was a single or something that I listened to a couple of weeks ago, but I never really dove into it.
That's
Jake
my
has been
personal
telling us
vouch
to
of the
listen.
last few weeks. Yeah, I've been trying to get Jacob to listen to it.
I will eventually.
Nocturnal. Is that the album?
Yep.
To check
Okay.
it out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it was.
my
They did
recent- That's my recent. vouch.
cover of "Can You Feel My Heart," right?
Yeah,
They
I think
did?
so. Yeah.
That's what
What?
it was.
They
That's
did?
how you sell me, Jake. Why didn't you sell me that?
I like the
Okay,
original
that's
stuff
cool.
more, to be honest. So, but yeah, now that I think about it, that's probably how I should have sold you.
Yeah, I think that's where I heard of them. I heard that it was probably about a month or so ago, but I haven't. I'll check it out.
I've really been enjoying it. It's a short album, but it's 17 tracks, so it's a lot of songs, just a lot of very short songs.
I was gonna say 17
So-
songs, 37 minutes.
Yeah,
Jeez.
it's an interesting experience.
Perfect.
I don't want to spoil
Okay.
too much about it, but that's my recent vouch anyway.
Okay. Cool.
Cool.
So I guess we can go from that into kind of talking about like you guys have written a lot of, like, all of your recent songs have been kind of different. Like, you have songs like Above It All, which are a lot more like melodic, versus Your Misery, which definitely leans more into like traditional metalcore, I feel like. What kind of like, you guys are so diverse in those sounds, like what kind of, do you have a preference, or do you just kind of go with like the idea and then, I don't know. I've just always found it interesting how diverse you guys' sound is. Doesn't feel like I can ever narrow it down completely.
I'm sure we'll let Kyle take this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, I think for us, it's always been we like that we give ourselves that flexibility to, do whatever we want. Obviously, it's under that umbrella of rock. Like it's pretty clear cut there. Rock, metal. Whenever people ask us like, what genre do you guys play? It's like hard rock, metal, core. It's somewhere in that general area. But I don't know. I think for us right now, it's since we're not necessarily a huge band or anything, so it's almost like we have a flexibility to just keep trying new styles and new ideas and just kind of branching out because there's no expectations, which I think is really nice. But obviously, I don't know. I think it's just it's almost like we take pride in having that, like there's a song for everyone, which I think is always cool. And for bands that you listen to, or bands you've been listening to for a long time, like Bring Me, if you've been around, they've been around forever, and they're always continually shifting their sound, and like A Day to Remember, or there's so many other bands that have like slowly developed and changed and have done different stuff and branched out and taken risks. And sometimes they make songs that are terrible, and other times they make songs that are like game changing. And so I think it's just something I've always been inspired by, is just being a little unpredictable in that aspect.
I honestly love it. Like I got into you guys, I guess, through this podcast basically when Becoming What I Hate came out.
Sorry, not sorry.
And yeah, that's my favorite song by you guys still.
Justin, what's your favorite song? I don't feel like I know.
So Becoming What I Hate was in my top 4 or 5 last year when that came out.
Oh, it's okay. Thank you.
And then I think going back to all of them, I would say it would be Becoming What I Hate. White Noise is a close second.
Ooh,
Nice.
okay.
Just because that's what got me into the band.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, I still really like stuff from your guys' sophomore EP, like Revival and Well Wasted.
Yes.
Yeah,
Let's
I'll
go.
go back to them.
Sheesh.
What's interesting is we didn't really realize it, but when we kind of in our heads we split it up a little bit. There was the 2018 EP, and then we had 3 singles that we released. It was after that EP, it was what was the first one? It was White Noise, right? And then
One More
One
Night,
More Night, and then Forgive Me. And like White Noise, One More Night, Forgive Me, we've always seen as those 3 as kind of like siblings, kind of triplets or whatever. And then we it was a little bit until we finally came out with Your Misery. But what was interesting is the stuff that was recorded for the 2018 EP, and it had some screaming and stuff in there, and even had the first track on it is obviously like pretty heavy for the most part. It was kind of our swing at a little bit more progressive of a style. But then after that, we released those 3 singles in 2019, and didn't really do much screaming or breakdowns for that matter until White Noise came out, and it was like, oh, we forgot how fun this was live. And I think that influenced a lot of like Becoming What I Hate, and Above It All obviously went a different direction, but a lot of the new stuff we're writing and recording is also kind of in that same vein of like, hey, this translates really well live, which we got to see, doing our tour with Amity and stuff. And yeah, there's definitely going to be a lot more of that. It's going to be really sick.
I think it's really healthy to have that variety, though, being able to, go into kind of a heavier sound and then also be able to kind of just experiment and have something else in your discography that can be as versatile. So I think it's really good.
Right. I just think it's smart as a band to not limit yourself to one thing.
Mhm.
I mean, because if someone that likes pop listens to a song that reminds them of pop, and then now they're hooked on our sound, but we have heavier music that they might not like, they can still go to a few songs that they'll really enjoy. So I think it's smart to just diversify your audience.
Yeah.
100%.
And I think like growing up, like some of the biggest bands like that I was into, they they took those risks. Like I think obviously like one of the biggest influences for me was Linkin Park. And I remember when they dropped their Thousand Suns album in 2010, and like literally everyone freaked out and was like, what are these guys doing? It was so off the wall, was not their standard thing. And what's wild is looking back and listening to that album, it's like one of my favorite albums now. I'm like, it's just so memorable and like it's unique and it's got so many cool elements that didn't really, appreciate back then. But now listening back, it's like they were doing things that were, people are basically doing now that you're like, holy cow, they were kind of they were just too far ahead of their time with that style that they did. And it threw everyone through a loop. But it's got more of a timeliness to it, I think, which is kind of cool. So I've always admired that from them.
Do you guys as a band have any other like musical influences? Like obviously like Linkin Park, as you just mentioned. Any other maybe like unexpected influences from like other genres that you like to take elements from? Insert genre blend with the rock style you guys do.
Brandon, I think you got some pretty good info here.
I mean, I think with like our newer stuff when we went into like the writing process that we kind of have like we have that heaviness still, but we also dive into the more of like mainstream pop and stuff like that, just elements from those certain things, like a band that comes to mind with like our newer stuff like The Weeknd, I would say.
Yeah.
One of them is, and then I can't really think of like another one specifically by name. I don't know if Kyle has one, but The Weeknd was definitely a big one.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like, what's interesting is there's the whole style of like country music, like pop radio country music, just as far as like structural songwriting, has actually been something I've like started to really appreciate. As weird as that sounds, there's a level of like songwriting in there that I really have found to enjoy, even though sometimes it's literally the same lyrics about trucks and beer and going to the lake. But it's interesting. It was funny when we did when we wrote the song Revival. I remember in my head I was like, I want this song after the second chorus to do what a country song does and go to a guitar, like let the guitar play an instrumental and like do a little solo, whatever, and then we did, and Revival was obviously like it was a sweet song. And so like I remember like even just stuff like that, like being like, hey, let's do like what would a country song do here? Oh, they'd probably go to a guitar solo after the second chorus because that's what country songs do. And I'm like, oh, we should try that. And then we did, and it worked out. So yeah, I mean a lot of like mainstream pop stuff. The Weeknd, honestly, even like there's kind of a resurgence of that 80s synth kind of vibes that's coming back a little bit, which like the album that I mentioned, Harry Styles, he's been doing a lot of that, which is really sick. Really cool synth sounds that they come up with and production elements. But yeah, I'd say it's just but that's why I like, keeping my ear to the ground with just the pop radio stuff. Is it might be a little painful to listen to sometimes, but there's some people who have insane songwriting abilities that are writing a bunch of these songs, or typically it's like 5 people that write all these songs, and there's a lot to be learned from it and how to build your own songs and stuff. So yeah, I enjoy that.
It's really interesting about like the country influence.
Yeah. I never grew up listening to country. My parents don't like it, and therefore I didn't like it. But then I married my wife, and she enjoys country, and I'm like, well, I like her, so I might as well figure out like what about it makes people tick, you know? Like that excites me, you know? Or like, you know, there's certain music out there that I don't understand, and I'm like, why would anyone listen to that? But it's almost like a challenge to be like, well, what about this is making people latch onto it? And I even think of songs that are like super indie, you know, singer-songwriter, where it's like, okay, like this song would be in like a movie during like one of those like, you know, where it's just the song playing and they're like riding a bike down the road or something. Like it's just a quirky song. You're like, what the heck? But then you listen to the lyrics and you're like, oh wow, this person's actually really creative with their lyrics. Their vocal skills are subpar. They're not a great singer, but they wrote amazing lyrics. And it's like, yeah, it's interesting to like just figure out the science of like what makes people tick. And sometimes it takes diving into genres that I wouldn't prefer to in my free time. But I enjoy it, especially when I come out with something I'm like, hey, we should try this with our music. You know, what can we learn from other people? So.
But now we're country. Just kidding.
Let's go. Not yet.
Make a country remix of one of your songs when?
Oh no.
I mean,
Honestly,
I'd be down for that, to be honest.
I think we could. Now we could do it.
It would be cursed.
You bring out the. I don't know what I'm doing. Never mind.
You bring out the worst in me.
The worst in me.
God, giving me Nickelback vibes.
Oh no! I mean, that's not a bad comparison to Kyle.
Oh no.
It's okay. It's okay.
If only Derek was here, our resident Nickelback enjoyer of the Hivemind. At least I know he likes some Nickelback songs. I don't know entirely, but I remember him vividly expressing like a passionate enjoyment towards certain Nickelback songs.
I mean, I know it's a meme, but I mean, they released so many songs that were like office bangers that even like rockheads liked back in the day, and it's like that they were able to pull that off and like have so many number one hits is like absurd. Like what they did, like actually looking back at it. But it's funny. It's one of those bands. Someone mentioned that who is it? Imagine Dragons is like one of those bands that you know all their songs, but you never realize it's them. It's like, how do I know this song? It's like you like know the whole song. You're like, how do I know this? What is going on? And it's
I've
like,
never heard the term office bangers. I
just went into the bank earlier today and I was hearing some Imagine Dragons in the bank, so it's accurate.
I'm saying,
yeah.
Or like Journey was one of those bands. It was like a corporate rock. Like it was one of those bands that finally broke through that, you know, normal dudes in suits would listen to in the office, but also dudes that were like, you know, riding their motorcycles and, you know, working on cars in the garage were also listening to the same thing. And it's like to be able to cross both dynamics there, that's a kind of insane. Not a lot of bands can pull that off. So, but obviously I think Nickelback is one of those. Imagine Dragons, obviously they're everywhere, which I'm not really a fan, but yeah.
I think they have a couple of alright songs. I don't like most of their material, but they have some alright songs, so.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting the way you look at like you said, you're taking elements from country, but it's not exactly taking it from country. It's a very interesting way to like look at it. Like, why is this interesting to people? Why do people like this? Never really like occurred to me. Like, why do I like this? I guess I know why I like this kind of music, but never projected it onto like other people, I guess.
Yeah. Well, and that's like even from like a basic like human standpoint, like taking a second to, I mean, the world could use a lot more of that, of people like taking a second to be like, why does this make them, you know, I use the term tick. Like, why does this make people like what about it? You know, there's a lot of things that I'm like take you know, Machine Gun Kelly. He's literally got like every 17 and 18-year-old girl like obsessed with him, and I'm like, what about, like, what is it? Like, obviously there's a level of like this guy, like, literally just like, it's polarizing, right? You know, you look at him and you're like, God, I want to punch him in the face. Like, like there's this, but then there's this level of like, as an artist, you have like a responsibility to, you know, have some decency to actually look into it and be like, well, what is this guy doing, and what is there to learn from this? And I think overall, if you can learn to kind of sit in that, you know, lean into that kind of discomfort of like weird artists and stuff like that makes you want to puke, it's like there's a lot to learn. It's only going to make you a better musician, you know. If you know about every little genre, and you know, things that like, oh, this genre people really like it because of this, and you know, metal they like it because of this and this, and it's like, well, shoot, now we know what we're looking for when we're writing songs. We're like, hey, it'd be really cool if we did something like this random song that is not in our genre, but incorporate it. Now you got cool influences and you come up with random stuff. I mean, you think of Your Misery, the whole the pre-breakdown with all the goofy little vocal glitches and stuff like that. Like, that doesn't happen, you know, because we only listen to, you know, one band, or I Prevail, or Bring Me the Horizon. It's like there's some, like Kai, our bassist, he has some goofy bands he listens to, but he comes up with really cool ideas that are like, who else would come up with this if they didn't listen to this weird stuff, you know? So it's there's almost a pride in that, just being able to listen to weird stuff and like pull things out of it and learn from it.
Wish my brother did that. Anytime he hears screaming in a song, he'll be like, skip.
Right. Yeah. And like, that's annoying. Like, obviously for us, like, you know, to have people like that, we hate it. And it's like, but you know, we're the same way with other genres where it's just like, nope, I'm good. Like, you know, it's just you win some, you lose some. But I think for us, if you're a songwriter and you want to be serious about it, you have to be able to interpret songs that you don't like, and actually dive into them and figure out why other people do like it. So
it's funny because he actually plays guitar too.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I think that the MGK thing is really interesting right now because of like, it's almost like people love to hate, and that what kind of fuels the fire to him like getting popular in certain genres and stuff like that. So you have like, you have like all these dudes that have been in like punk pop for years, grinded for years and stuff like that. I was talking to my cousin about it because she's a big fan of it, and getting mad because like MGK just like comes out of nowhere, does an album, and he's got like all these features like Bring Me the Horizon, Avril Lavigne, stuff like that on it. But I mean, he was just out in Arizona yesterday, I believe, right? Yeah. And I mean, him and Avril Lavigne are selling out stadiums. Yeah. So it's like, what are they doing that's like just making everybody obsessed, but like other musicians and stuff like upset? So it's like, are they really good at following a trend, hitting a trend right before it starts, stuff like that? So it's pretty crazy.
I blame Travis Barker.
I mean,
I mean, that's a good point.
Yeah, it's a starting point.
Yeah.
Dude's insane.
Yeah.
The amount of features, the amount of Travis Barker features that exist in the world now is just absurd.
It's wild.
It is pretty wild.
Every song has a Travis Barker feature now.
Yeah.
Isn't it nuts though? Like, literally, how the heck does a drummer become more iconic than like at featuring on stuff than a singer does? Like, how like his ability to pull that off? Like, the dude must have like an absolutely insane work ethic. Like, he must be a maniac. Like, yeah, it's nuts.
I mean, he's an iconic drummer. So
yeah,
the dude can write some insane, weird, wacky, just off the wall parts. So that don't make sense.
All right, let's. I want to talk about the tour that you guys did with Amity Affliction earlier this year. I wanted to see you guys in Hartford. Unfortunately, couldn't make it happen. But how was that tour experience? Because I feel like it's probably like your first big like across America tour, as far as I know.
Well, it was. I mean, should I say this, Kyle? It was technically our first tour, which was kind of wild.
Ever.
Yeah.
That's pretty big for a first tour.
Our label's gonna kick us
Yeah,
out.
no pressure or anything.
It was fun though. I mean, I think we learned a lot on the road. It was across the whole U.S., so I got to see the East Coast for the first time, which was really cool. And I'm sure the other guys can agree. We learned a lot, and I think our next tour will be even better prepared for whatever gets thrown at us. So
I feel like
Yeah,
there's like
I
a
think-
lot of typical things like you expect of tour. Is there anything that like caught you guys off guard on tour?
So what was I don't know. I feel like we were pretty like well prepared. I mean, was there really anything we weren't like? I'm trying to think of.
I think
Like we kind of had our ducks in a row. Like we, but
yeah,
we've
I
always
think it
been
was like caught us
that
off guard. Was like
Yeah,
I
it
don't
was
think-
weird because
I don't know.
you
our
go.
tracks went out.
No, you're good. No, I was just gonna say the only thing that caught me off guard, which you wouldn't think, like for me personally, was how professional it actually was. If that makes sense, like the Amity dudes and their team, and like everything, just the tour in general was very like a clean professional like setup. There wasn't anything like crazy. You hear like crazy stories on tour. I think
was
that was
smooth.
one of the things that surprised me. I was like, it was super smooth for our first tour. I was like, wow, this is kind of interesting. But go ahead,
Yeah.
Kyle. Sorry.
To hear.
Yeah, it was honestly. I mean, for us, it was a huge break for us to get that opportunity to literally have our first national tour be riding the coattails of a massive band. I mean, they've been around doing this metalcore thing for a while, and they're like one of the biggest, kind of iconic ones, I would say. And I think for us, it was cool because there was like a validation that we're confident in what we do. We know we can put on a good show. We know we can entertain people, and we know we can have a good time and leave people like, feeling like, wow, these guys were awesome. Like that, we're entertainers. Like we enjoy that, and we know we're good at it. So like that's fun for us. But just the validation of knowing that, hey, we know we can drive across the country. We can be responsible and be there at load-in times. We can break down our gear. We can sell, we can sell merch. We can set up stuff. We can do it. And so that was always a question mark we had never really done before. And to spend 40 days on the road and come back and be like, hey, we kicked ass. Like that's a really good feeling to know that, hey, it was kind of proving ourselves and being like, hey, we could do this,
Yeah, all the years of just kind of grinding away down in Arizona, and you finally get to take it out.
Yeah.
It's definitely paid off to just continue pushing, because we've definitely had our moments through, I don't know, when Kyle and I first started doing stuff in 2013 before Archetypes Collide was a thing. I mean, we've gone through a million guitarists and just a bunch of crap, and we should have stopped doing this a long time ago, but we kept pushing forward for whatever reason. And
Brandon showed up and gave
Brandon
us
showed
hope.
up and plays guitar, and then we're like, all right, let's do this.
They're like, oh, he's not very good, but we like him. That's cool.
He can't play metalcore, but
I did not say that.
hey, you know what? He kills it, so it doesn't
But-
matter.
He did have a guy who didn't know how to play guitar writing tabs. That was fun. No, but that's what's cool is like we knew we had the chemistry, right? That's the most important thing. It's like, we're all in our own respect good at our instruments, and we can hold our own and we can play live and be, great. But none of us are, freaking guitar gods or drum gods or, vocal gods. Like none of us are insane, but our cohesiveness we have is something that I think a lot of bands don't have, and that helps separate us, especially just locally, to be able to branch out and to do our thing and to be consistent with a lineup. I mean, we literally it was 4 of us from 2015 to 2019, and then we added Kai on bass, and it's been the 5 of us since then in 2019. So there's a cohesiveness that we have where, as cheesy as it sounds, like we're just kind of a unit or a family that, we sometimes get pissed off each other and clown each other too much, where we'll get salty and, rub each other the wrong way. But it's a really cool level of just like, I don't know, we get each other. It's a cool feeling. So
I get really salty Kyle's talking about me.
And I ate it all.
It's okay.
I really like to instigate stuff and just troll people and say stuff because I know it's just gonna cause some reactions. And then I'll send a gif of a guy fishing because I'm just baiting people. I think
Mental games.
What did I do? Oh, a James. Yeah.
We do a fair bit of trolling on our end too. So
Got him. There you go. That's one of my
the many amount of jokes of we walk Justin behind a paywall, so you have to like pay to access anything that Justin says, or the every time that Derek has a stroke while recording an episode, stuff like that. You know.
Nice.
Make fun of me for being Canadian.
Yeah, for simply.
We should make fun of Canada at that point.
Yikes!
Give us your oil.
Give us your
right.
I mean, after the internet outage that delayed us recording our June recap, I think we actually have a valid reason to just say fuck Canada and not just fuck Jacob for being Canadian now. So
you get pal your internet.
Yeah, on Friday the Rogers, the internet company, went out, and like the whole infrastructure of our company or country, went out. Like 911 was down. You couldn't buy food. You couldn't buy food with like a credit card. What else?
That sounds
no internet on. So
when was this?
Friday.
Did you go outside and just like start punching trees and like looking for
Minecraft? Yes.
Minecraft, IRL.
All right, I've been training for this moment my whole life. Let's go.
Exactly. Yeah.
Where's
That's
the
wild. That's so weird.
Yeah, like everything went to shit, basically.
Yeah.
Jeez.
For like the whole day.
Just for a day, though?
Yep, just for a day.
Okay, well, thank God.
All right. Justin, do you want to ask this next one that we have? We really only have like one other question that we have written down.
I saw you highlight. I was like, "Are you gonna get to it, or should I?" So we talked about your misery for a little bit ago, but you guys got signed to Fearless. I think it started this year with Undertow. How has that been? Like that entire transition from first producing your own work to now having a record label behind it.
I guess
if there is anything you can say about that.
Yeah, of course.
No, we can. No, I think we kind of have to pinch ourselves because signing to a label like Fearless or there's a bunch of other labels that we would always joke about, like back in the day, Rise or Sumerian and all these, metalcore labels and stuff that we were all like, we joke about, oh, we could sign to them and do this and that. And it's just kind of, it's funny now. It's like, we're just like, what the heck are we doing? Like, how did we get here? But it's really interesting to see how many like genuinely good people there are in the industry. And especially at Fearless, they're pretty they're known for that. They're known for being good to their people and taking care of their artists, and not even just to like sugarcoating stuff. Like the team they have that we've worked with, we've obviously been in the works and doing a lot of things and recording and stuff like that, and just all the people that we've interacted with. Our second show in California in Hollywood,
in LA, yeah.
In LA, yeah. Their whole team came out, and the Troubadour. Their whole team came out, and we hung out afterwards and had drinks, and like just got to hang out with everyone face to face. Andy, the president, he came through Arizona once, and we all met up with him and just had dinner or something with him, and just got to hang out with him and like just a normal dude. I mean, it's just weird. Because it's like people who genuinely believe in what we do and like what we do. And obviously to have a financial backing from a label is, next level. That's the simplest way you can put it. We've been DIY ourselves where we'd be spending. I remember in 2019, I did like a budget thing or something like that to see. And we spent like over $10,000 in like recording videos, all this stuff, just because when we don't even know how much we're going to make, but it's like, hey, we're trying our best to put out the best product we can. And, time can only, spending time on stuff can only get you so far. Eventually you have to, go for it where it hurts. And usually it's in the bank account. So it's like, well, we got to go for it, guys. We got to save up money. We got to do these things. And now it's like, all right, we got to do, whether it's recording or we got to fly out, or if there's a music video or stuff like that, like the label obviously is the one that supports that. And to have that ability to go into things and not completely I remember us being like super stressed back in the day when we had to like start saving up money to record, and I was like a tax collector, like, hey, let's all try to put $100 in this week and whatever. And people were like, I didn't work that much or whatever, and like it was tough, and like I think I've kind of forgot about it, but just thinking about it now, it's like, oh, that was not fun. But yeah, just to have genuine people who care about what we do and are willing to actually like invest in us, it's a game changer, and it makes our team so much bigger. At first we were 5 dudes, and then we got management, and then we have a booking agent, and we have all these people that essentially are rooting for us and invested in us. And yeah, it's really cool. It's a cool feeling. I've said it before with some people that before we got signed and stuff, we'd have to pull the band like a dog on a leash, like a puppy on a leash. We're just trying to get it to go where we need to go, and like, come on. And we're willing it ourselves. And now the whole paradigm has shifted now with the label and stuff. And it's like, we have things to do and, things to take care of. And now the band is pulling us. And I think it's a really great feeling to know that, hey, this thing is moving now. Like we've got responsibilities. We're having to spend more time on things. And it's like, hey, this is pretty cool. So, yeah, it's just a whole different monster. The team we have now is stacked. It's a really cool feeling.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear.
Definitely
I know for me and Justin, we've been enjoying your guys' music since like early 2019, like going on 3 years at this point. So
it's just nuts with the amount of growth you guys have had.
Well, thank you guys for supporting us. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Honestly,
yeah.
You guys are making great music that makes my ears happy. So
we'd love to hear that.
You love making yours happy.
I wish I didn't have to be on set for 8 hours a day filming a short film in my last semester of college so I could see you guys live in Hartford, but sometimes that's the cards I'm dealt. So
Hey, that's pretty sick.
Another time.
yeah.
Oh, maybe eventually we'll be doing music videos or something. We'll cross and it'll be worth it, right?
There you go. Absolutely.
There we go.
I think that's about all we had. We do have one final question that's not really a question.
Oh no.
But I think we have to ask it.
That we can't answer, or
No, you guys can absolutely answer it. I just don't think you guys are gonna provide the correct answer.
Oh,
We're all biting our tongues.
Do you guys like kuokas?
What is that? What? I don't even know. What?
You're allowed to Google search what a quokka is.
You're allowed to Google search. It is safe for work. It is all right.
Okay, I'm gonna
I
Google
feel
it
like
right
that's
now.
a troll. I don't.
It is not.
Wait, how do you spell
I can't
this?
believe he's
Kuoka.
It was a joke.
Too bad.
Uoka.
Yeah. For context, we use a Google Doc, and one of the times when we were setting things up, it showed anonymous kuoka as one of the animals for one of us. And on our Google Doc, we just posted the picture of a little
very
kuoka.
happy.
Is that the
Oh
smiley
my
beaver-looking
God,
thing?
Yes.
Dude, this one's he's giving me a hug. He's
Yeah,
so cute.
so happy. Look at him.
Bro, I'm looking at that exact. I'm not even joking. Like, look at that. That's what I'm looking at.
That's the exact picture that's in our doc.
You know
It's so
what's-
cute.
You know what's funny is that thing is smiling, but its claws are out, and guarantee it's about to rip the cameraman's face.
Yeah, probably.
Absolutely.
No, there's no way.
He's gonna have a good time doing it though.
That thing's
I
a
want
love
one.
bug. Look at it.
Can
It's
we
so
have
cute.
one?
Justin, I can't believe you actually asked that.
Quokka
ordering one off
conversion has
Amazon
been
right now.
completed.
It's on the
Where do-
doc. What are you talking about? Of course I'm gonna ask it.
Where do we
Come
find
on.
a quokka?
Yeah, where's that at?
Google.
I think Amazon
You can,
sells
go-
them.
you can Google search for quokkas.
I love it. Thanks for asking that. That's beautiful. I've seen them before, but I didn't know they were called quokka.
Wait,
Kuoka?
who
Kuoka?
wrote them on the dog? Because now they're misspelled. I just looked at the spelling. It has
It's
two K's in it.
Quokka, right?
2Ks, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Two
2Ks.
That's been
It's two
misspelled for
Ks.
months. I will.
It's a short
That's
name,
important.
Wallaby.
We learn something
yeah.
every day.
I see a picture of one with Chris Hemsworth. That's pretty cool.
He's attractive.
Australian. There you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah. And so is Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
They look
my
like-
God.
There's a picture of one that looks like a miniature, like chubby kangaroo. Like there's a thing where you can watch in 3D if you go to Coca Animal. If
Oh,
you
You
Google
watch
that,
I might be-
VR?
Okay, hold on.
and there's a view in 3D option right under the overview of it on Google.
Okay.
Oh, I see that.
You know, I'm about to pull it up. This might be nuts.
This
I
might
didn't
be. This might be nuts.
Is this gonna
I
be like
mean,
Pokemon
See your
Go where
local
it's
Quokka
right
in
nuts?
3D.
no. This would be better in VR for sure, but
Yo,
It's alternate reality Kuoka.
yeah.
this is like freaking Nintendogs right now. Let's go.
Oh my gosh.
Nintendo Quokka?
yeah.
Nintendo
When?
Quokka.
Nintendo Quokka? Nintendo Quokka when?
I'm glad you guys asked that question. Thank you.
Of course.
I love it. Made my day.
We
Quokka
always add at least something stupid into every one of our interviews. So
I respect it. 100%.
Whether outside of our control or totally in our control.
Yeah.
This time it was the latter.
That's good. Quokka.
Last time we had rivals just shitting on Canada, and it was great.
Who?
Oh, I thought.
The
Rivals.
last band we had was Rivals. We had Kaylee
Oh,
Wolf
nice.
and all
Oh,
them.
Rivals, nice.
And
yeah.
they just shat on fucking Canada, and it was great.
Oh my
There was
gosh.
also what the pterodactyl dinosaur something or other.
Oh yeah, that.
Yeah, that. Yeah,
That.
we've said there have been some very unhinged things said on previous episodes. Don't worry.
I'm glad we
Far more tame than the other ones.
Yeah, this one wasn't
Quokkas are
bad.
far more tame than some of the other stuff we've said.
we've got a lot to lose, so we gotta play it safe.
Well,
Oh my gosh.
thank you
Jake, I
for
think
coming
you're good
on,
to end
guys.
it.
Of course.
Thank you for joining us. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thanks for the invite.
It's
It's fun.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Thank you.
Of course.
Before we end, obligatory social media shill number 2. You can follow us at Hivemind Radio _ on Instagram and Twitter. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify. Hivemind Radio Recap. Go follow the guys on Archetypes Collide, because I'm sure you guys probably have new music in the works. So more stuff coming eventually. Probably, I would have to assume.
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe.
You know,
Bold of you
Who
to
knows?
assume.
That's what we do.
True.
We write songs, we record songs, and sometimes
release
we
them.
release songs. You know, yeah. That's all I'm gonna say.
Your misery hit a million plays, I think.
Yes.
So
Wild.
really good
Yeah.
work on that.
Wow.
So cool.
So cool.
Another one of
awesome.
our songs hit 2 million, but I won't name the song because, yeah.
Hey, we're talking about originals right now, Brandon.
Yeah, okay.
Not
yeah.
covers. Goodness.
Dang.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a wrap. Thank you to anyone out there that's listened to this. Thank you guys once again for joining us, and have a good night.
Have a good one, guys.
Thank you.
See ya.
Thanks, guys.